Welcome everyone to Walking After Whiskey with Trevor and Travis. I'm Trav.
I'm Trev.
What we do here at Walking After Whiskey is break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead.
We also break down a great bottle of whiskey, whether it be a top shelf, medium, or bottom shelf. It's all good. We got it all.
Yeah, the episode we're breaking down tonight is Season 8, Episode 3, entitled Cut to Black.
And the whiskey we got tonight, it's called Sexton here. It's a single malt Irish whiskey.
Let's get to the reviews, man.
All right, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Woo.
This segment is brought to you by Kessler's Lounge of Vallejo, California. Established 1982. With the best mixologists in Northern California, Kessler strives to be different from the rest. Kessler offers a full bar with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, with free Texas Hold'em to sharpen your skills every Sunday at 6 and Thursday at 7. Kessler's is located at 125 Couch Street, Vallejo, California. Hope to see you there.
Want to start it off, Craig?
Yeah, so actually what we're going to start off with is the show actually started out with Zeke and Ezekiel and Carol going off, doing their own thing with the group, and it kind of goes back and forth. He kind of talks about how what they're doing, and then it goes back and it shows what they're doing, and you think they're going to get messed up, but they don't.
Yeah, last episode, Carol has always been kind of very like, what's Ezekiel's deal? Like, what's this guy's going on? What's his spiel, right? Why does he keep talking like this? And last episode, he lets you know, he's like, I'm just gonna fake it till I make it. And what we're doing here is, as long as I get a bush in my man and show that I'm directed and I'm focused, then they can do much more than we could ever dream of.
Yeah. So he wants to build up morale, get everybody going with the whole. We're unstoppable, and then they go through this whole, he goes through this whole thing. We're not going to lose anybody. We're going to keep going. We're not going to lose anybody. So it kind of goes back and forth, and it shows them, going through the motions of all the places they need to hit, and actually being really, really successful in everything they're doing.
Yeah, it's good. And I see the light, and Carol's like seeing him, and every time he goes through this, we will not lose one of our ranks. And he's becoming very much more magnanimous, like bigger than himself. But what kills me is as Carol is like, attaching a glow to him, we know when someone starts having things go good for them, it doesn't spell good for their future on the show.
Right,
so it's kind of like leading to Carol maybe having a huge fall, which the comic books who knows, but this is kind of like a foreshadowing to me about what's going to happen for her.
Yeah, it's almost like they're building something up here to kind of hurt you.
Yeah.
But who knows? They had a great moment where they got the guy, the tiger.
Yes.
Sheba came through and got the guy, so it kind of got everybody uplifted.
Yeah.
So that's how it started off. The next major part in the show, I think, was when Rick was having that conversation with forgive me, I don't
Morales,
know.
I think I forget.
Yeah, Morales. He was from back earlier on in the episodes when everything was almost normal still. Before, but what did he say before Rick became? But back when he was still Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh yeah, you got Mr. Nice Cop.
Mr. Nice Cop. Yeah. So he kept referring to Mr. Nice Cop, and now he's like, now you're just like you're like us. You're like us, and. It seems like Rick's almost trying to take a new foot. I was talking about earlier. Yeah. It's almost like Morgan and Rick are kind of switching spots. Morgan was like, "Hey, we gotta, lives matter." Yeah. And now it's almost like Rick's kind of feeling that way.
I was talking about this earlier about people falling into the same like plot holes, but really it's like when you're a person, you're conflicted. Like at one point you want to be this killer and everything's clear and kill the zombies and people to save your people, but the other end you got to keep in touch with humanity and like who you are as a person and other humans. So it's almost like a give and pull. It's like peaks and valleys of just going through being this killer to be regressing back to trying to be human again. And it's hard to, you've seen the saviors, they've lost all humanity.
It's easy when you run into people like Jesus, and to do that. But when you run into people like the saviors, it's a whole different story because you see the guy with the long red hair. He keeps nagging on Morgan about the kid, and you're wearing his armor. And I mean, how much is it going to take for you to hold in all that stuff before you want to just punch that guy?
But let's back up one step though. So they're in this warehouse, Daryl and Rick are, because they were told that there was a big weapon there, right? And so the Morales guy tells them that there's no weapon.
Not only
here.
a whole cache of weapons.
That was a big weapon. That was some kind of weapon they're looking for.
Right.
And he's been told twice that there's no guns here. So it's like very like Rick is like, what's going on here? Like what's really happening?
They're starting to put Rick. I don't know about Daryl, but Rick's starting to put it together as they're going through, and then Rick runs into that situation. Now they're sitting there talking for so long. You're sitting there, you're like, okay, when's this guy going to get shot in the back of the head? You know Daryl's going to come. You know Daryl's coming with the bow, and you know he's going to get shot in the back of the head. So the whole time this guy's talking, you're just like, all right, you're waiting for it, you're waiting for it, you're waiting for it. And it finally happens. You know, he gets got. And then Daryl looks at Rick like, what the hell you want? What are you standing around for? Let's go.
So Negan's very calculated, and what I think is happening right now is Negan has told all of his main men, you know, Stephen Ogg, Eugene, and Dwight. He told them all different places where this weapon's going to be at, and now he's going to find out who's flushing out the rat. Because wherever these guys go to, he's going to know by that fact that that's who sent him there. And so I think it's by them being there that Negan's going to know that Dwight is the one that's ratting on them.
Exactly. Because if you notice, they got all the sheets from Dwight that Dwight ratted, and everything's been true so far.
Yes.
Besides that very last step.
Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out, dude. But then we'll talk about Gregory goes back to the hilltop, and the first thing gets to the door, Maggie makes the
well, he comes up to the place, not even thinking what kind of car he's driving.
Yeah, right. Whose car he's driving?
Whose car he's driving?
Right. Because he wasn't there. He was already gone at this point.
Right. So yeah. So Maggie, he's coming up saying this and that and the other. And Maggie's like, "Why are you driving so and so's car?"
Gabriel's car.
Yeah. And he's like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
And she automatically knew right off the bat something's wrong.
Yeah. They open the door part way to let his face in there. And Gregory's an amazing actor. He tells it all with his face. He's such a slimy, just boot heel, you know. So it's funny to see him talk and act and everything. It's really amazing. And Maggie, for some reason, lets him in. Enid says don't let him in. The guy up top there, I forget his name. The guy up on the top of the fence says don't let him in.
Oh, the dude, his little buddy that he took with him, his little slave or whatever you want to call it, that he made him do everything. The guy finally turned on him.
Yeah. Because he ate that little girl's pancakes.
Yeah.
I didn't eat the girl's pancakes.
I didn't eat her pancakes.
So it was hilarious. So they let him in. At this point, Gregory takes like 5 steps into the place, and then Jesus comes with Morgan, and they have like rows of saviors. Going back to what you were saying about the savior that Morgan was talking about.
Morgan had left them. Morgan's left them.
At
this point, Morgan's left them. What's her name comes up though, and she's like, I agree with Gregory.
Yeah.
Well, she said, because Gregory said the same thing.
She's like, you're right.
Gregory's like, I completely disagree with everything that they're doing now. I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah. And then she said, I agree with Gregory. Yep. And which agrees with Morgan as well.
And they're right. I think
so who knows where Jesus is coming from? He's got a good heart. We all know what he means. But in the same sense, we've all seen what these guys have done.
Oh, yeah.
And Jesus hasn't.
Yeah.
So it's really hard.
And when people learn this lesson, they become this jaded person, like Morgan. They become this jaded killer. So Jesus isn't there yet. He's not there in the comic books either. But it's like it's just crazy to see the dynamics, what happens, and how it unfolds for people. Because obviously, after being held hostage with Tara, he still hasn't learned his lesson. He's going to learn a hard lesson with this. I guarantee you.
But did you see Jesus' moves, man?
Oh, when he
was working Morgan.
Yeah, he was dope.
He was like, "You done?" And Morgan was like, "You done?"
In the comics, they think Jesus is actually Jesus, like coming back to life because he gets like a ninja and wants to go. He gets in huge fights and never gets caught. You're going to see in the coming episodes in the war, he takes down Negan and some friends. If it comes out to play, Jesus is a badass. So you saw a little glimpse of that in this episode.
So some shit's about to happen at the hilltop. They got a bunch of refugees, whatever you want to call them, that they're going to shove. They're going to put in the back of a bus on the side of the yard. Who knows with a guard, you know. Yeah. Who knows? So then we move on, and it actually circles back around to Carol and Ezekiel and the whole crew in their quest to find the weapons, the big weapons or the cash or the whatever you want to call it, and they kind of oversaturate this line of not losing one. Like they're over
one rank. We will not lose one rank.
Not one rank. And then all of a sudden. You just hear this rain from the sky of just some 50 caliber rounds.
They're approaching this like old farm mill. It's like you tell there's big silos going on and fence around there, and they're approaching.
Well, they just ambush those people.
Yes,
right in the field. They just ambush them.
And so they knock them down, thinking this is it. Like we've done it. But these guys have really high lookout points. You can tell by the windows up top. And Ezekiel, before anything ever happens, looks up like, no, we're walking into a trap.
And right before that, Carol's like, we need not bullshit, and we need to go and clear out this whole area, right? Mm-hmm. So Carol, you notice Carol takes off, and she goes to clear out. Yep. Who knows if she takes anybody with her or not? Right. I have no idea. But Zeke's still sitting there, and then he looks up, right? They look up, and he notices, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then if you notice, as soon as that gun fires, like 2 or 3 people jump in front of King Zeke. And all of a sudden you see blood fly. Like, so we got 3 people that jumped in front of Ezekiel, probably saved his life, so he's probably still alive.
Sure.
But like you said, all those people that they killed before and that have died now are all going to be zombies. And these 3 guys are going to be on top of Ezekiel. It's almost like a Glenn thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Under the dumpster that one day when him and that guy that shot himself were under the dumpster trying to hide from all those zombies. It's just like we're talking about how they all piled on top to save him, which is great and envious, but at the same time, there's a time clock going on. These guys wake up. They're already on top of him. He cannot move. And there's 4 or 5 guys that are about to be chomping at the bit.
Right. And I don't see that guy at the top. I mean, if I was gunning up there, I wouldn't be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I would make sure I go through a couple bodies first.
It was like a Tourette. Something. It was just you just see the fires coming
50
down.
caliber is a big old 50 caliber. I mean, it's the biggest gun we've seen yet on the whole show. It's arsenal.
It'll play a big role in the coming scenes, and that was a good review.
That was a great
good
review,
episode.
Man. Hey, we're gonna head over to the whiskey review right now. We'll put you guys in a minute.
Follow us.
Great.
Well, hi there, ladies and gentlemen. What we have is a Saxon's Irish single malt whiskey. It is a non-average statement, 100% Irish malted, barely offered, and it's been triple stilled in copper pots, stilled and aged in European oak. Ex-cherry butts before by even bottling at 80 proof. And if I had to give myself a little comparison, I would say it's like the good old classic Bushmills, none of that homemade shit. Hope you both enjoy. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Welcome everyone. This is the part of the review. We do the whiskey review.
Hey, how about the review of the show? Wasn't that great?
Yeah, it was a good episode. It was a good review. Obviously, I love my brother coming on and do the review with us. So thank you for coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
To give you guys a little heads up, we have a good friend Victor of mine who's been a bartender over 10 years. This guy knows his stuff about alcohol, and even though I know a lot about whiskey and a lot about drinking, a lot about being trashed, I'd rather get a better palate in here to give you guys a better review of the whiskey. So, Victor, without further ado, please come in. Yeah,
welcome, man. Welcome.
Bring it on. This is Victor.
All right, how you doing? Take your drink right here, man.
Gentlemen,
All right.
What are we drinking tonight, Vic? He brought it for us.
Yeah.
looks like we're drinking a single Irish malt whiskey here.
Yep.
Beautiful looking black bottle. Let's see how it tastes, so we give you a nice little review with this, huh?
It's got a little malt caramely flavor to it on the nose.
I like the tint. Has a good tint to it. Not as light as the rest of them.
So myself, I drink whiskey, as you know. I drink it straight. Sometimes with a beer back. Actually, mostly with a beer
Coke
back.
back, beer back, whatever.
How do you like your whiskey?
You ever had it with a pickleback?
I've had it with a pepperoni back and a jalapeno back, but
Hey.
go on.
You ever had some whiskey way back?
Fuck me, right?
Whistling nickelback?
Dude.
Fucking tickleback.
What do you think?
Man, I love the smoothness of this one.
It's very smooth, right?
Very smooth, and I like the little after kick it gives you in the back of the throat.
Yeah.
To make
Very,
sure
very
you're
little.
drinking a
Hey,
whiskey.
what does Trevor say? What does Trevor say? The burn or whatever, that the whole none of that.
Well, you always drink with sodas and shit anyway.
Yeah, no.
But this is Irish whiskey, so it's definitely not shooting whiskey like you used to with like a Jameson. This is mostly like they're setting your palate. I mean,
It's a great sipper.
yeah,
It's a great one to sip on.
Awesome.
You slam a few back though, get in quick.
yeah.
Get in. Real
I think
quick.
if you slam it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
You're doing it wrong on this one, man.
You gotta be a
You
lot
got to
more
sip it.
sophisticated.
Yep, you got to
A
sip
lot
this
more
one.
sophisticated with this
Absolutely.
Anything? How would you recommend this drink? Over ice? You like it straight up? Do you like it just sipping back, Coke back? How would you do this whiskey?
one. Two things. Straight up the way it is, and maybe one ice cube, just so you can last longer. And especially if you're sipping on it, I like my whiskey to build.
Right.
So if you're fucking halfway done, your ice cube melts, it's back to the top.
Yeah,
It's back to the top.
you're right.
I've heard before, like, because you're a bartender, a long-time bartender, when you add water, not only does it cut the whiskey, but it brings the smell out. Is that true, or is this just bullshit? Like,
It's just a different tone. It's a different aroma. It's just like when you
It's a different tone.
let a
Absolutely.
bottle breathe. After 10 minutes, you're going to get a different taste the next time. Same thing with this.
However, when
Add
it's on
anything-
ice, you're kind of disguising the flavors.
Absolutely.
You're almost doing it dirty.
Yeah.
You're not doing it justice if you put it on ice.
Without the olive.
Without the
I like doing my whiskeys and my girls dirty all the time.
Ooh.
Man, I do.
When in doubt, it does make you crispy.
We'll
We'll
cheers
save
to
that for
that.
another time.
Thank you, Vic. Going
to that,
on?
baby.
All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Here's to a great review. Look forward to next week's episode.
And walking after this,
Yeah, good luck.
right?
Good luck walking
You need a ride?
after whiskey.
I don't walk. I drive.
You Uber here? I'll call you up right now on my little phone.
I still use the yellow
Uber
cab.
X?
Yellow cab.
Come on, man.
Uber X.
Checkerboard.
He's got he's got the iPhone X. He thinks like everything's got an X after it.
You only do yellow cab when you come home from jail. Like, because you got to have that big yellow bus going home.
I didn't even know they had yellow cabs anymore.
You never been to jail before?
Yeah, I have. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit. I'll tell your mom.
Oh, shit.
I'll tell you.
This guy's got a different mom than I got. We got the same dad. He really don't care, but
yeah, no one cares about our dad.
whatever.
He's short like him.
Hey, cheers. He's short like him.
Fucking whiskey. Your fucking heritage.
Woo! Good. That's good shit, man. Hey, y'all enjoy next week's episode. We'll see you soon.
What this guy said.
Fuck me, right?